This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Hello, football fans, and welcome to the Onside Kick. My name is Ricky Widmer, and as always, I'm joined by the Mark Weber.
Dub them ease.
And Mark, before we get started with, this is what we're going to talk about this podcast, we got a special anniversary today.
Yeah.
The day we're recording this on Tuesday night, as we always do, and for you, Mark, this kind of hits a little bit of home because it's your team, but this is the 30th anniversary of the Chicago Bears winning their only Super Bowl. Super Bowl 85.
It was a good time. It was a good time. You know, it's nice to win a Super Bowl, Ricky.
Yeah, I would
It is
know.
nice.
I would not know.
Nice.
I've come so close, but yet so far.
In our group chat between friends and the Lions guys in it, Mike Slowinski, I made that comment about how it's nice to go to a Super Bowl and
he's
win.
like, I don't know what that is because the Lions have never been there.
You and him both didn't say nothing.
No,
Didn't say a thing.
You know what? I wasn't gonna go there because the wide left is still a little bit fresh. That wound is not healed completely. Mm-hmm. But I bet it feels really nice winning a Super Bowl, even though we both weren't alive for it.
Well, I like to think that I was alive, at least in spirit.
Mark was there in spirit, even though he was not even thought of at that point. But we got a jam-packed podcast, as we always do for you guys. We're going to be talking a little bit of Peyton Manning, some Cam Newton, and then the all just interesting topic, which is the 2016 NFL Pro Bowl. But Mark, we start our attention off in Denver and Peyton Manning, and this is a story, a folk tale for you guys that goes after the Broncos beat the Patriots and Peyton Manning was shaking some hands. He goes to Bill Belichick, and he leans in and pulls the hoodie in and goes, "Hey, man, it was a good game. This might be my last rodeo." Mark, is this the last time we see Peyton Manning win or lose in 2 weeks?
I sure hope so. I don't necessarily care for the fact that he said this might be my last rodeo. Like, Peyton, if you're going to end it or not. Unless he really is sitting there going, if I lose, I might come back and try it again. This is the right thing to do for him to go. I think he should have announced it Ray Lewis style previously. I think that would have been
Derek
nice.
Jeter style, Steve Smith style, before Steve Smith said, whoa, I got injured. I ain't going out like a bitch. I'll be back next year.
Go out, say you're going to leave, and then go and win it. You're kind of putting the chips on the table in that case, which I like. What's everyone's favorite move in poker? All in. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I would love him to do that. I don't like this kind of wishy-washy thing, but I really think everyone knows he's going to be done. And it's the smartest thing. I mean, it's right for Gary Kubiak because he doesn't work. He shouldn't work as well with Peyton Manning as he is. It's right for the Denver organization. They've got Brock Osweiler there. And it's right for Peyton Manning. It's time to hang it up. It's time to be done, win or lose, I think.
See, and I don't know. The reason why I'm kind of like an I don't know is, in my mind, the realistic part of me goes, win or lose, Manning is done. Because let's be honest, it's kind of like the story we've gotten with Brett Favre when he was in the league. These veterans don't want to come back for OTAs. They don't want to go through the grind of the offseason that you have to do just to get ready for another NFL season. However, there's a part of me that goes, could we see it to where if he loses goes, nah, this team is too good. I can go ahead and win a Super Bowl with this team. Let's give it one more ride.
If you didn't, then apparently they're not that good.
Or do we see something where, kind of like John Elway, when he won his first Super Bowl, everyone thought, hey, you know what? Elway's going to hang it up. He ain't coming back. Then he comes back, wins the second one, and then retires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's possible. It's possible he could win and come back, but I just don't think there's anything left in Peyton Manning. And, I mean, you could see it towards the end of the game for everybody who watched. Mm-hmm. He's on the sideline throwing the ball in pain. You can see that he is physically in pain from throwing the football, practicing on the sideline throwing it. Mm-hmm. Like, that is not good. This guy, he doesn't have much of anything left. He's noodle arming it at this point. It's done. The writing's on the wall. He's lucky he's got the opportunity to be winning another Super Bowl. Not because of the team that he has, not because of his own skills, but he's lucky because Brock Osweiler messed it up, and they had to put Peyton Manning back in. He came in off the bench. This is not a guy who's got the ability to come back next year and hopefully play again for another Super Bowl. This is it. This really is it. This is your one shot. You got to go for it. That's why I say he should have put it all out there. He should have said, I'm done after this. Because players will play just a little bit harder when they know that the guy next to them, the guy leading them, this is it. This is their one last ride.
And another reason why I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I know I said the realistic part of my mind says he doesn't come back, win or lose. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go ahead and say that Peyton Manning knows that, hey, you know what? I'm done after this year. And one of the reasons why I think he knows is look at the numbers since he's gotten to Denver. This is his, fourth year in Denver, and I know he's played 10 games this season compared to the 16 in the regular season. But you go through his yards for the season, 400, 659. Then his 5,400 year. Then 4,700 this year. 2,200. Yeah. We also see in his touchdown numbers, you go from 37 to 55 to 39 down to 9.
Of course, we know that he didn't start all the games.
Yeah, he didn't start all the games, and I know he was injured, but you can see that just
read his interceptions. His interceptions is what's fun.
11, 10, 15, 17.
It's going up. And I mean that's a huge telling point that he just doesn't have that pinpoint accuracy that he used to have. They're sailing on him. It's not that Peyton Manning's making bad decisions. He just doesn't have the ability to make those same throws anymore. He just doesn't have the strength for it. And I mean, you can go ahead and look at his longest completions, 71, 78, 86 last year, 76. And I know you may be saying, but Ricky, it's not as low as that 71. But when you go from a longest pass of 86 to 75, even his average yard per attempt is the lowest. 8.3, 7.9, 6.8. Yeah, and part of that...
It's going down.
Part of that, of course, is just Gary Kubiak is saying, hey, let's play it safe.
But it's also he doesn't have the strength.
No, and that's something that they know. People are saying right now that Peyton Manning's... Yes, he's thrown 17 interceptions this year and would have thrown more if he was playing the entire time. But they've gone down recently. He hasn't been throwing very many, if any, interceptions in the postseason. But that's part of that is Gary Kubiak knows, okay, I can't let this guy throw all over the field. I'm going to keep it very Gary Kubiak conservative, very safe. Go underneath. Do not try anything deep. Don't try it at all because it's not going to work. He knows that, and that's why it's been very good and very safe. And that's part of the reason why some people are thinking they're just going to dink and dunk their way
to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Which might they? Maybe. We'll talk about that, later.
Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna talk about Cam Newton later in this podcast. Next week's gonna be our just complete Super Bowl podcast preview, as we're kind of gonna take a softer look at the Super Bowl this week because we've got that off week. Whereas in 2 weeks, next week we'll have the Super Bowl week with media days and everything going on in preparation for the Super Bowl. But the one thing I want to read off is I mentioned the regular season stats. There's even a decline in the playoff stats. And I just want to look at it was the 2013 season and this season, because those were the 2 years that he's going to be going to the Super Bowl. When they went to the Super Bowl against the Seahawks, he had 910 yards, 5 tutties, 3 INTs, and an average on attempt of 7.1. This year, I know it's only 2 games because they have yet to play the Super Bowl for this season, but he's at 398, 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs, and 5.8 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
And the number that screams out at me is that yards per attempt. And I know you can say, well, that's just the Kubiak offense. I think it's also what you mentioned, the noodle arm. It's also the arm is not there. And to me, Peyton Manning's got to know that, hey, you know what? I don't want to go through this again, win or lose. Now, if he wins, it's going to be great because he can ride off into the sunset, Ray Lewis style. However, the one thing I don't want to see for Peyton Manning, and I really don't want to see it because I had to watch one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks do it on my team, is I don't want him saying he loses. Then, you know what, I can come back, I can give it one more. Then he's playing like, I don't know, the Texans, week 16 of the regular season. His team's not even going to make the playoffs. And J.J. Watt comes out of nowhere, demolishes him. And we get a newspaper clipping of Watt just looking down at an injured Peyton Manning a la Urlacher Favre.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's, eventually Peyton Manning's, well, first I'll say he's lucky he hasn't been broken yet. But eventually, if he keeps playing out there, he's not going to leave the field unless it's on a stretcher. Because the guy is just, his body is not able to take this anymore.
Let's be honest. If Peyton Manning was on the Patriots, we're not having this discussion because he would have been either destroyed or he would have taken so many hits in the AFC Championship game and won that it's like, fuck it, he's going to take $1 million more in 2 weeks, and we're not even going to want to watch that. Yeah. So, I mean, the Broncos have done a good job of protecting him, but I just look at the Patriots. If Peyton Manning was on the Patriots, we're not having this discussion.
Oh, for sure.
Because of, look at all the, 23 hits Tom Brady had to take last week?
Yeah, and that's going to be something that Carolina obviously is trying to do. Carolina's got a great defense, great defensive line, great linebackers. They're going to be coming for him. They know, and this is just the realities of the game, they know if they hit Peyton early, that's going to set the course for the game.
However, there's another thing I want to bring up, and this is my second reason why I think Manning has to leave, win or lose in the Super Bowl, is there's a chance, and Bronco fans, I'm sorry I'm bringing this up, but there's a chance Von Miller is not in Denver next year, and I'll be honest, maybe it's because we live in Chicago, Mark. The hopefulness from people I've talked from around the area is there's a chance Von Miller's not in Denver, and there's a high chance he could come to Chicago to reunite with John Fox. So, I mean, just that fact alone that Von Miller won't be there, that brings the defense down a little bit, and it's not going to be the same team next year if Peyton goes, fuck it, I'm coming back one more year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it'll definitely be different. And the defense, Peyton's done his job, but the defense has really been carrying this team. They brought this team into the Super Bowl.
Let's be honest. The defense won them the AFC Championship game.
Oh, for sure.
Peyton Manning did not win them that game.
No, because what did I say, if you remember back from my previews? I said that if it comes between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, I'm taking Tom Brady. But that defense is going to stop Tom Brady.
Oh, and they did.
Yeah.
They did so much. And because we mentioned the game, I just want to bring this up. How do you, if you're Bill Belichick, I still don't understand this. You have 2 fucking fourth downs, and you don't kick field goals? You don't kick field goals? You take the fucking points, Mark. If they would have taken one of those field goals, they win the game. Yeah,
well, they also had the missed extra point.
I know, but with the miss, I'm not even talking about calling for Gostkowski's head because, let's be honest.
Because Ricky hates kickers.
Well, you don't miss it that much. That was a fluke. However, on 2 fourth downs, you go, fuck it. We're not going to take the points. We're going to go and we're going to go with a quarterback attack that my quarterback's been demolished. Yeah. You take the goddamn points, Mark.
And also, you got Noodle Arm out there who's not doing anything. Now, I understand that your offense wasn't doing much, so you're really thinking, do we really think we're going to get the ball back with less time and have to score again? I really want to score right now.
You have Noodle Arm on the other side.
But it's just well, I think he's more worried about that defense. He didn't think that his quarterback could drive them back down the field. He had to go for it now. But the thing was, I think the first one was with 5 minutes left. Maybe it was 6.
I would have taken the first one for sure.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It was bad. But, I respect the fact that Bill Belichick's going, no, I'm happy with what I tried to do.
And then another thing I don't understand, and I had this conversation with Sean Anderson of the Fast Break podcast here on Most Valuable Podcast, because he's a Patriot fan. Yeah. And he even said, why the fuck on a 2-point conversion are we wasting time on a play action? Did they expect us to run it? No, they didn't. Why waste the time? I mean, the Patriots, Manning didn't win that game. The defense won them the game. You can either see it as the defense won them the game or the Patriots lost themselves the game. Manning did not win that game. I don't think anyone's saying that, though.
Yeah, the Patriots were in prime position multiple times to get that win, but the defense of the Broncos is just so good they didn't let it happen. That's pretty much what it comes down to. The Broncos defense did not let the Patriots win. The Broncos defense won the game. And if the Broncos win the Super Bowl, it's because of the defense. The defense will win them the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning will get all the credit in the world. He'll walk away, go into Disneyland or Disney World, but he won't be the actual guy who wins it. It really will be that incredible defense, one of the best. Well, I mean, I guess I can't say one of the best defense we've seen in recent years because we just saw the Seahawks destroy the Broncos and not let them put up pretty much anything. But damn, is that a good defense out there? One of the best.
This is going to be a very defensive suit. Like my early thoughts, and of course, this may change a little bit as I kind of digest the matchup that we're going to see. But my thoughts right now in the Super Bowl, man, are that it is going to be a defensive slugfest. And to me, the side goes a little bit in favor of Carolina